Joe's Politics 101. Today, I watched this speech or statement or whatever it is that this guy, Wayne LaPeirre of the National Rifle Association, made. You know, it's kind of a shame that you can predict what a person is going to say. You know, it was already common knowledge and understanding that what he was going to say when he came out was in the form of promoting more guns in society. You know, having been a person who have traveled and seen quite a bit of stuff in my life, it makes me wonder, what is our country turning into? You know, I remember going places overseas where on every corner you got some either police officer or military person standing around with an automatic weapon or a semi-automatic weapon or whatever type it might be. You go into every facility, there's people walking around with weapons at the ready. You know, our society has always been a place of, I don't know, violence in some cases, peace in some cases. It was founded on violence. You know, we fought our way into a country. And it's just getting to be absurd. I mean, we're supposed to be the most advanced country in the world. And when someone like this guy, Wayne LaPeirre, or however you pronounce his name, gets on national television and talks about training people, arming people in our schools around our children, it don't make for a safe environment. It don't make for cosmetic ways of teaching our children about nonviolence. You know, our country is becoming a third world country is basically what this is boiling down to. And these extremists, you know, and these gun rights and these Tea Party people are the ones that's turning it into a nation of violence, a nation of unfairness, a nation of exclusion. What is wrong with the idea of getting rid of some of these weapons that are being manufactured and used in our country? No, you can't stop all violence because you never know when it's going to happen. You can't prevent every catastrophe or tragedy. You know, he talked about the video games. He talked about all of these things. The mental health problems. You know, and when he talks about mental health problems, I think about my state. You know, the state that I live in, Louisiana, where the governor is cutting mental health programs, privatizing mental health programs. You know, things that could be, or that are useful to people, that could be a good thing, but he wants to privatize it and turn it over to limit the state's responsibility for what happens with the mentally ill. You know, all people who commit these violent acts are not mental patients. They're not mental patients. They may have some form of problems, some, you know, indication. We all have some problems in our lives. But those who go to an extreme and have access to weapons of destruction, where you can just take a weapon and use it. You know, they try to make this distinction between an automatic weapon and a semi-automatic weapon, or a weapon that you have to, that shoots every time you pull the trigger. You know, you can make a gun shoot as fast as you want it to by pulling the trigger. Pulling the trigger on it as many times as you choose to. If you have 30 rounds in a clip, or 40 rounds in a clip, or 100 rounds in a clip, you can make those rounds go off like they are a automatic weapon. And anyone who has any experience with a firearm knows that. Knows that. You know, people are fascinated by designs, by the way things look. The deadlier it looks, the better it is. It don't have to be automatic where you pull the trigger one time and it just shoots. You can pull the trigger on a weapon as many times as you can move your finger, and as fast as you can move your finger, and it don't take but a split second to make that gun go off like an automatic. You know, you could predict what Wayne LaPeirre was going to say when they announced that they were having a press conference today. You could predict what he was going to say. It was going to have something to do with arming somebody else. So arming some more people in this country. Our schools don't need it. Maybe a security guard or maybe a police officer assigned to work in that school who should be invisible to the young kids of any school. He should be in a position to where if there is a threat, he has the ability to get to that threat before it even enters the school. You know, a single police officer is often the victim of someone who has planned something. The invisibility, being invisible, locking our kids into a school, fencing them in totally to where nobody can ever see them or get to them is not a way to educate our children. It makes for a prison-like atmosphere. You know, the people in the NRA need to come to their senses and say, look, yeah, we have a Second Amendment right. You know, we don't need to be manufacturing all these different weapons and selling these weapons. It's just a money-making thing. That's all it is. And people are so paranoid. You know, they done convinced the people that the government's going to take your gun. The government's not going to take your gun. How many times do you have to be told that? Is being ignorant a form of a gun owner's ideas and attitude? Ignorance? Fear? A very unwarranted fear at that. You know, people like Wayne LaPeirre and all these different gun rights people need to tell the truth. Quit lying. Quit lying about the Second Amendment. Read the damn Second Amendment and see what it says, and then make an interpretation on it. It don't say anything about owning automatic weapons or 90,000 weapons or carrying a weapon or any of that. It doesn't say anything. These people have promoted that to a point to where people are now wanting to walk the streets with a damn gun. They want to go back to the 1800s, to the late 1900s. Give us a break. You know, I'm a person who can carry a firearm without a permit of any sort. Do you think that's what I do? No, I don't do that. I'm not that fearful. I'm not that paranoid. All my weapons are secured in this house. The only person that has access to it is myself and my wife if she happens to need one. You know, and this false pretense that guns protect you is a bunch of crap. Guns do not protect you. If you can't get to that gun, or if you are taken by surprise, a gun cannot protect you. Guns do not protect anybody. They just don't protect anybody. They cause a lot of lives, though. A lot of people die from gunshot wounds. Unaware of themselves being shot, unaware of some danger with them, because someone is in possession of a gun. Wayne LaPeirre, National Rifle Association. People who support the National Rifle Association with these memberships, giving them your money, as they talk to you about how they train you for gun safety. Gun safety is common sense. Gun safety is common sense. You don't point it, you don't put your hand on the trigger, you make sure it's not loaded when you bring it in to your home, or you're going to be going out hunting with it. You make sure it's not loaded until you get to where you're going to be hunting at. You don't look down the barrel of it. You know, gun safety is a simple thing. Never point it in the direction of another person. Point it down at all times. You know, Dick Cheney is a prime example of an NRA member who have no knowledge of how to carry or protect or take and use a firearm, even in a hunting situation. He shot somebody hunting. Or did he do that on purpose? You know, this whole thing, LOL, laugh out loud, or is it just, Lord, oh Lord, what in the hell is America coming to? Gun rights. That's all people are talking about. Gun rights. The right to carry and bear firearms. The Second Amendment is very simple. Very simple. It's a short paragraph. And it explains in that short paragraph what it means and why it's there. This is another edition of Joe's Politics 101. I'm not posting anything else about this until after Christmas. You know, I'm going to take the rest of this holiday and try and enjoy myself despite all the extreme activity that's going on involving firearms, involving our politics, our physical cliff, and all of that stuff. You know, well, let me not say that, because I got one more to post. I got to talk about John Boehner after I post this one. So everybody out there, Joe want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year. God bless you, and God bless America.